What's up guys, I am back. It's been a bit of a drama over the last couple months with losing my channel, losing my sponsorship, and a few other things which I'll get into later. But we made it, and I'm here to tell you about all my travels post-Vegas heading down into South America, and my experience playing KSOP. So after about 5 weeks in Vegas, it was time to get the hell out of there. I'd enjoyed the summer, but I didn't have any good runs in the poker, just 3 kind of min cashes. I will be making a vlog on the rest of my summer soon, so make sure to like and subscribe, but for now we are leaving Vegas. However, I did get to enjoy the GG Players Party. That was really fun. We were heading to the airport because we had our flight, which was stopping in New York and then heading down to Buenos Aires. It was about to be my first time stepping into South America or even the Southern Hemisphere. Flight's delayed in New York. Don't have time to explore, but here are the yellow taxis. I'll have to save the New York trip for another time. 8 hours later, we boarded the next plane. So we quickly settled into Buenos Aires and we went to the Recoleta Cemetery, which is one of their main tourist attractions, home to many of the previous Argentinian presidents and also the granddaughter of Napoleon. It was really interesting being able to see coffins up close and knowing that you're surrounded by bodies. It was a very strange experience, but it was really cool. We briefly explored the botanical gardens and then it was time for some real tourist activities. Look at this warm boy.
Where's the pink, eh?
So, tell me what British words you know.
Tossler. I can't wait to call somebody a sausage. Do they have to be plump like a sausage for you to call them a sausage?
No.
It's more of somebody doing something stupid or dumb that you get to call somebody a sausage.
Yeah.
If somebody goes all in and loses with 7 dues, you can just be like, you fucking sausage.
You need the Brit accent though to make it sound.
Don't think I do.
Yeah, sausage sounds doesn't have the same effect.
Sausage.
Anyway, thank you.
Sausage wanker.
And then we saw the Japanese gardens. But we saved the best attraction to last, Buenos Aires Casino, which is actually on a docked boat. Here we go. The casino was really trippy, there were mirrors everywhere. So we ended up finding this 5-card game. We weren't really sure what it was. From looking it up, it seems to be a form of Caribbean stud poker. Rules are, you post an ante, you get dealt 5 cards, the dealer also gets 5 cards, but one of them is face up. You look at your cards and you make a hand from that, like in video poker. You can either fold or raise 2 times the ante, or you also have the decision to trade 1 card. After that, the dealer will reveal their cards. Now they have to have ace, king or better for your hand to qualify. You are then paid out based on the strength of your hand. Which means that it can be a brutal game. You can be dealt quads and the dealer doesn't qualify, so you get nothing except your ante doubled. So me and Blaze were sat there trying to figure out this game. Obviously the house always has an edge, so we're trying to find the minimal loss strategy. Trying to figure out when should we trade a card, and we basically decided only if we're on a straight draw or a flush draw, or potentially if you have trips and you want a full house or a quads. Because hypothetically, if I were able to see other people's cards at the table, that would give me a bit more of an edge. Anyway, we sat there for a few hours drinking beer, having fun, and we ended up both leaving double our money. So we definitely got lucky that night. But we're poker players, we love a puzzle and we love figuring out how to lose the least amount of money. Heading on a 3-stop wine tour.
And olive oil. And we'll see how
And the oil of the olive.
We're the only ones that speak English here.
And we're like half the age of the average demographic.
Half is generous, so we might be a third.
Well, I'm including you in this.
Right.
Here are the white grapes, and then behind me with the long stems that they don't trim down are the red grapes. So yeah, they make a lot of the Malbec. Yeah, it's really cool. They have this big machine that shakes the vines to get the berries off, but for the high-end bottles they will hand pick them so that they get the stems as well as the berries. Thank you.
Yes. Why?
Okay, we're at the 3rd stop, trying a little rosé Malbec. It's alright.
I exist. I'm in this video.
I'll cut that out. next day was National Friendship Day, and we drank wine, danced, and watched the sunset. The next stop was in a village outside of Cordoba, where Blaze's old travelling friend Devon lived. On the first night, Devon and his climbing friends welcomed us with a traditional Argentinian asado, which is a load of meat tossed in a barbecue and just good vibes all around.
Tastes like meat.
And they only bought that aubergine because I asked if there'd be any veg with it, and they laughed at me. The next morning we went out to explore the village we were staying in. Some kind of dog escort going on here.
And dog.
Oh, there's another guy. Yeah, we'll lead the way. Lead the way, mate. You just follow. Oh, we've got a new guy joining the crew.
Oh, this looks like a proper coyote.
Yeah, we've got an actual wolf joining the wolf pack.
Hello.
What do you reckon, boys?
You want to bring
Look
him
at
in?
these guys. Oh, what do we think?
What do you think?
Oh,
Oh, no.
Park at the car.
Here's everybody. How are you, Crispin? Hello. Hello, down. Hi, 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 hi.
Don't worry, I'll edit it.
I'm Devin. Yo soy Duca. I'm in Argentina because Argentina's awesome. I came here in 2011 and I love Córdoba. This is Córdoba, Argentina.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, what's it like living in rural Argentina?
It's pretty awesome. I like it. It's cold in the winter. It's
Yeah.
tricky to heat your house. But other than that, it's pretty awesome.
What's the climbing like?
The climbing's great. Well, I don't know. I love the climbing. Other places in Argentina that are a little bit more well known, it's kind of tricky, the climbing here, because there's a lot of positive slab climbing that makes you use your feet, makes you trust your feet. And it's where I learned to climb.
What's the culture like?
The culture, barbecue and music and hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I miss most when I'm back in the States, is my friends and barbecuing. And yeah, that's why I live here.
Yeah, it was absolutely freezing and there was no heating, but we did get to sign his climbing wall and even got to go out and do a little bit of climbing ourselves. I wasn't particularly good at the climbing, but I gave it a go. And then me and Blaze just sat and watched the professionals show us how it's done, wishing that we had some beers or a pack of cards with us. So defined.
I got fired today.
He's still swinging. Not a lot of climbing going on.
I literally was just say that. I don't think you can get back to the wall. Yeah.
That is the issue. What do now?
She's swinging.
Oh. Oh. Oh, she's trying to get him up.
Yeah.
So back to the wall.
Yep. You're doing it.
And we all watched the sunset drinking some Argentinian mate, which is tea, but they have their own little spoon in it. Filters out the leaves, and then you drink through there. Like a straw.
Mustache Man approves of these empanadas.
8 empanadas later, we headed to the airport because our next stop was Rio. Okay, we're here in the airport, and we shall not be flying tonight. Just found out that there's a new rule since April. Americans require a visa to get into Brazil, and Blaze does not have a visa, so he has to apply for one. He's been to Brazil though, he's never needed a visa, so just a mistake. Bit of a nightmare, so delayed for 4 days.
I just filed an e-visa, and
So we had 4 days to wait around for the e-visa to come through. We ended up just staying in Cordoba and exploring a bit more of the city. Dog.
dog in a house made out of bronze.
The long boy. Passed the time by drinking a lot of wine and looking at some birds and nature and shit. It was lovely. Here is both wine and nature together.
Hypothetically, if I am a man living in the mountains,
The e-visa came through, and after pushing our taxi to the airport, it was time to fly to Rio. whole place just felt so surreal. I couldn't really believe what I was seeing. Looking up at Christ the Redeemer from our balcony, just incredible. Had our first walk on the beach, just look at it, it doesn't even look real. It's so beautiful here. And then tried my first caipirinha, which is basically blended up fruit mixed with vodka.
Typical Brazilian coxinha.
Yep.
The bolinho de feijão. I think this is the chicken guy. One of these is mozzarella, and the other guy is meat. I think this is the meat one.
The next day we went to exchange what was left of our Vegas dollars because we're going to play some poker. The poker was hosted at the Sheraton Hotel. Casinos are actually illegal in Brazil, so there was no casino here, just poker. Okay, I've just arrived at KSOP. It is absolutely amazing here. It's got to be the best view whilst playing poker in the world. Today, jumping in the opener, the warm-up, which is like $250, 30-minute levels. It's a fairly small series this week. I'm gonna play the opener, the ladies, and then the main event, just one bullet probably. It's gonna be interesting to see the way that Brazilians play based on their reputation. I think it should be a bit crazy, a lot of bluffing, so. And they hand out trophies for first, second, and third here. With around 100 tables and lots of space between them, it is a really great place to play poker. Okay guys, got away with a sneaky one here. So multi-way, I opened King 10 suited on the button, hearts, small blind, big blind, call. Flop was Jack 10, 6 with 2 diamonds. Checks through. The turn is an ace of diamonds. Now the small blind bets. I don't think he necessarily bet all these things like a suited ace and stuff here, but if he does, I think I can bluff him on the river. And also, I've been chatting to this guy, and I think his image of me is that I'm a fairly new player, and I'm not going to be bluffing much. So I call. The river is the deuce of diamonds. And he now bets again, but he bets to like 40% pot. And it feels a bit weak to me. Like he's either was bluffing with like a low pocket pair, like 5s with a diamond, and it got there, or that he has like a weak ace. Or he's turning something else into a bluff. So anyway, I raise him 3.5x. Here I'm trying to represent hands like King Queen, King Jack, King 10, or Queen 10 that have 1 diamond in the hand that might have played it the same way. And he's like, ah, and he folds. And he was annoyed about folding, so I got him to fold something good there. I quite like that. I can't solve it on GTO, but shout out to Luis. I got you. But then he beat me in a flip later, so, you know, whatever.
Peggy, Patch, Neuronia. Oh, 3 monstros en mesa. Ah, yeah.
3 monstros. Honestly, like everything today has gone well. I've been hitting flops, and then all of my bluffs have got through, my 3-bet bluffs. It's been a good day of poker. Just unfortunate that I lost this huge flip, so I was sat next to Luis, who was teaching me about all-in strategy. When you're all in, if someone stands up, you have to stand up as well to like counteract their plus EV stand up. And then if you need extra EV, grab the bag. So we were all in. I had ace jack, he had 4-5 combo draw on jack 4-3, and he stood up, I stood up, and you see I didn't even get to film this because I was so like, oh my god, this is the moment. And then he grabs his bag just before the river comes down a spade, so he beat me. But lessons learned there. I should have grabbed my bag as well. But yeah, I could have had like 200k, but ended the night with 62k instead. I have no idea what this is.
Primeira bala in Brazil. Primeira bag.
I'm coming back with 15 bigs. It's going to be close to in the money on Friday. 1 bullet, 1 bag in Brazil.
2 bullets, no bags. 1 turbo bullet, no cash.
I think that's 3 altogether.
It's 3 altogether. Down a whopping 600 bucks today.
Could be worse.
Could be a lot worse. It's not like losing 5K in a day in Vegas, is it?
So day 2 began, and we were 30 away from the money since they only pay 10% of the field at KSOP, and so I wasn't able to fold to the money. I got it in with ace king against jacks for a good chance, and unfortunately couldn't win the flip. GG to the opener, we'll have to try again. What do you think they are?
Probably aces, but...
Probably aces. Might be kings, they like kings here.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Oh. Oh, Jax.
Find out.
That was unexpected. They trying to rage bait us or what? The next event I played was the $100 RJ Experience. Here I got to experience what a good flop looks like, flopping the nuts, and I ran pretty good for the rest of the night. Ended up getting another bag, 2 for 2, and ready to come back tomorrow. And this one was a little bigger. I had 17.5 big blinds for day 2. Again, it was quite away from the money, but I did sun run for the first level and managed to build up a massive stack. So I was very much in the safe zone when it came to the bubble, and I got to be the one applying bubble pressure on people, which is a nice change from being one of those shorties, being a big stack that can just keep stealing the blinds. And shout out to my friend who bubbled running jacks into aces. Resorting to these kind of shenanigans when you've got aces against jacks and you're not even the one that's all in. Not cool, but also, it's Brazil. Got my Brazilian flag, I got the min cash, and then unfortunately got aces with 15 bigs, 27 left.
Unfortunately, you got aces.
Yeah, first aces I've had here. And small blind flops a set of 6s. Yeah, I lost the mega stack after this huge hand. Got all in on the flop. Unfortunately couldn't hit after flopping the world. So GG me in 27th, but still got the flag and a little cash and a jump.
27th out of like 450, that ain't bad.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
But it's, you would think it'd be a couple cashes above a min. But it's only one.
I bust
On a
before the
pay
jump
ladder.
on the pay ladder. So. But once again, there was no time to rest because it was time for the ladies' event. Maybe my aces were meant to be cracked. Maybe something amazing was about to happen. This was another $100 event, and the chips at KSOP are beautiful, but I said to myself, I'm going to try and collect these nice pink ones, and basically whenever I could, I would not give away any pink chips. And it seemed to be working, although I did get off to a bad start. So I get dealt ace jack off, terrible hand. I open like mid position, button calls, big blind calls. The flop is jack 5-5. I bet, fold, big blind calls, and then the turn is like a 7, bringing in a flush draw, and I bet again, big blind calls. The river's like a blank, and she just lead over bets. And I'm like, ugh, like we're playing too deep right now. Don't like it. Threw in a big steep, not very happy. And I know that she has a 5. I absolutely know it. Every single part of me knows that she has a 5. But then I can't help thinking, like, is it a miss flush draw? Is it possibly a miss straight draw? If there's any chance of that, I think I can call. And sometimes you have to pay a little price at a new table to see how people are playing. So I end up making the call. She's obviously got a 5. Yeah, I lose that hand. And I was actually really frustrated at myself because I was like, that's a lot of bigs. That's 60 bigs out of my 3 in a big stack, which is a fairly small proportion, but it's a lot of big blinds, you know. I'm like, why did I do that? I should have folded river. And there were a few more frustrating hands where I was just getting really annoyed with myself. I was messaging Blaze like, if I am not doing a second bullet in this, I cannot be bothered with this. And sometimes that's the attitude you need for a deep run. Obviously I still play my best, but I'm in my head, I'm just like, ugh. So I want to tell you about this. So I'm playing the ladies, cooking about 55k, started with 30. The reads are absolutely incredible. Literally, ladies, they're drinking wine, the river comes down the middle, like, ugh. And it's like, it's honest, you know. So
Honest poker.
some really easy stuff going on.
Ride this out to victory.
Yeah, I think I know I can do it, so
Let's both win a trophy tonight.
it'd be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Double trophy.
Love small fields. That
Yeah.
means you get to utilize your edge more.
Yeah, and you get more final tables.
Covado, pão.
Okay, I've made it to the final table, and I am the chip leader.
Chip leader! And I am the one who gets the drinks. And I'm gonna be on the rail supporting my baby. And she gets a nice steel mug. Up, it's photo time. Ooh, let's go.
At this stage in the tournament, I felt very comfortable against my opponents, and I was ready to finish the job. There were some players that would basically just lead if they had something large. There was so much overbetting going on. It was insane. I've never seen that in a ladies event. Small betting when they're weak, and I was just putting on the pressure, especially as it got later on, like final 2 tables. Someone bet small on the river. I put them all in. And they're like, oh. And that was the pressure I had there. I was like, I've got a reasonable blocker here. I can just go for it, put them all in. And they end up folding because they want to stick it out as long as they can. And I joined in with the wine time, started drinking a lot of wine. And we got to the final table. There were only 3 paid, but I came in with 50% of the chips with 9 left. And yeah, I ran good as well. I knocked out someone jacks v10s. I also won 2 flips that tournament. You have to run good to win. It is what it is. So because of my pressure, and this is interesting because after watching Sheena win the ladies and see how she plays, I think I've understood how to exploit the ladies a bit better. So basically overfolding to their aggression, and then when you sense a little bit of weakness, just putting on the max pressure you can. And then it pays later. So there was one hand where I ended up rivering a boat. It was like 7-7-9-9, and I had a 9, and the 9 was on the river. I ended up putting this lady all in, trying to make it look aggressive, like, I don't think you have anything, I'm gonna push you off this here. And she like snap calls with a 7. She doesn't even think about it. And that was on the stone bubble.
Called by second boat when she was second in chips, which was honestly insane because like, what else are you jamming there?
I know, she should have folded.
She should have.
Putting on this pressure and being aggressive can pay later when you get the hands. Like remember Sheena at the ladies' final table, she just always had it. And these guys were going crazy against her, trying to catch her out, trying to do all this. But she's not an idiot. She knows what she's doing.
GG. Let's go, baby. Trophy. Trophy in the money. Yeah, trofeo in the money.
Ended up heads up. The other lady had maybe 15 bigs. We played a couple of pots and then I had 10-9 offsuit in the small blind / button, and she had about 12 bigs behind. Standard jam, you know, I put her all in. She calls me with King 9. I'm like, okay, back to the drawing board.
Oh, let's go. Finish it. Done. Come on. Let's go.
So I guess I collected all of the pink chips. However, that created a habit of me holding on to my 500 chips in every single tournament after that. And I'm officially the first Brit to win a KSOP title. We did it! We did it! My first trophy from poker. Look at these, look at that rock. Damn!
Damn! 5 deuce was very spicy as well. 4 left.
It was a money bubble. I had 5 deuce suited. I am the chip leader. I jam small blind 5 deuce suited. Think she's going to fold a lot of stuff, which she will. She called with ace jack and lost that.
Ace jack suited.
Ace jack suited, same suit. So yeah.
Standard.
But it was fine. Like there were a few of my like ICM jams that didn't work out, but that's fine. And to celebrate, we treated ourselves to a turbo and then headed home after busting immediately. Coming up in the next vlog, we have the main event, and me and Blaze ended up clashing at the same table together. We get our tourist on, and Blaze has a run at getting himself a trophy, and I have my second run, second final table, and chance to win another trophy. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be back very soon.